Hi, I'm Tom Scarpello of Revology Cars, and this is car number 378, a 1969 Mustang Boss 429 in candy apple red with ivory and black Nappa leather interior. Today I'm going to take you on a walk around of this car, and we're going to go for a drive. Let's get started. All right, 1969 Boss 429 candy apple red. You could mistake this for an original car until you look more closely at it. Some of the tip-offs will be the larger wheels and tires, the ceramic frit glass, no antenna mast on the fender, you know, the usual Revology things. Otherwise, very, very original looking, very authentic, all the way through. The side of the car, the rear of the car, very much 69 Boss 429 all the way in terms of the appearance. The interior of this car is trimmed in an Ivory Nappa leather. That's a Mercedes leather. The accent is a black Porsche Nappa leather, and that Nappa leather covers the dash, the center stack, the console, and then it also has black carpeting, so it has the authentic two-tone pattern that the original cars had. The carpet is a loop carpet, which is very similar in appearance to the original. It's molded to fit the shape of the Revology floor pan. And the doors are also trimmed with carpet along the bottom. The seats are also trimmed in the Ivory Nappa with a narrower pleat, which matches the theme of the 69 bucket seats. This car is also equipped with our optional Harman Kardon premium sound system. So great tunes. You can listen to the engine, you can listen to tunes. You've got your options. All right, let's go for a drive. Okay, we're off. Car 378, 69 Boss 429. So in a recent video, I was talking about the seats in the Boss, which are supremely comfortable, and which we now have designed a version for our 67, 68 as well. So all of our cars are using these front seats. The seat frames are from Mazda. They were designed for the current Mazda MX-5. And I got some feedback that, you know, people were questioning, why would you do that? It kind of maybe downgrades the car. You know, it's a $400,000 car and you're using seats out of a $35,000 car. And I guess, you know, I've been in the auto industry my entire life, so this kind of stuff is so normal to me. But I guess most people don't realize the extent of parts bin sharing that goes on, particularly among low volume automakers. But it is everywhere. It is so common. Typically, the parts that are shared are things that don't affect the styling. You know, things like HVAC systems, latches, switches, mechanisms, all this stuff that's kind of under the skin because, you know, frankly, it costs a lot of money to tool up that stuff. And if you just need a switch or you need a latch or you need some kind of a mechanism to do something, you know, there's really no reason why you need to design a new one if you can incorporate something that already exists. And, you know, so that means the tooling is already paid for. It means all of the development work has already been done. All of the testing and the validation and all different types of climates, it's something that's already been proven. A lot of parts have regulatory implications, things like latches, like lighting, obviously any kind of a safety system. So, you know, for all of those reasons, it just really makes sense. It's smart business. And, you know, low volume automakers have been doing it forever. And, you know, there's even a lot of cases of things that are recognizable that have been used on low volume cars, like lighting. A couple great examples are Aston Martin DB7 uses Mazda 323 taillights. The Lamborghini Diablo used Nissan 300ZX headlights. The Murcielago used Ford Focus side marker lamps. The McLaren F1 used tail lamps from a Dutch truck, the Bova truck. A lot of less notable examples. That same DB7 used Mazda MX-5 interior door handles. So the DB7 can use tail lights and door handles from a Mazda. I think the Revology Mustang can use Mazda seat frames. I think that's okay. Anyway, that's the reason. You know, you get a good quality part that's already proven and cost is reasonable, supply is confirmed. So it's one less thing to worry about. And when you do a vehicle program, when you're introducing a lot of new things, anything you can do to eliminate variables that could go wrong is good. You're going to kind of isolate the things that really have to be new and focus on those things. And then the things that really don't have to be new, use a proven solution. It reduces the number of things that can go wrong and increases the probability of having a successful outcome. It's the way cars are designed. It's the way it's done. It's the way OEMs do it. It's the way we do it at Revology.